Hey guys, this is a guide for the story mode quest called Accidental Witness, and firstly I will let you guys know that you do require 3 keys during the progression of this quest line, with them being the Dorms 110 key, the Zmeisky 3 apartment key, and Reshalas bunkhouse key. Now you can find all 3 of these keys in the pockets and bags of scavs as well as in jackets or in drawers, and Reshalas bunkhouse key also does have a fairly high spawn chance on Reshala himself if you do happen to kill him. Or if you do meet the level requirements to purchase keys from the flea market, then you can always just buy them directly from there just to save yourself some time. Now you will also require access to both Streets of Tarkov and Shoreline to complete this quest line, so if you didn't pay Therapist the rubles yet during your tour story mode, then you will have to go ahead and do so now to unlock Streets of Tarkov, and then you will also have to go and work through the tour quest mode to the point that you do unlock Shoreline as well. Now to start or trigger this questline, then you will have 2 options. You can firstly go to the courtyard between the 2 dorms buildings on customs, and then just outside the elbow of the 3-story dorm building will be some graffiti covered vehicles. And then as soon as you do walk over next to these vehicles, then you will get a notification for this quest being triggered. Now if you were purposely planning on starting this quest, then I recommend that you just go ahead and bring in the Dorms 110 key with you to prevent having to go and extract to then come right back to do the next objective. But obviously if you triggered this task accidentally, then you couldn't prepare for that. So then your next step would be to go and get yourself a Dorms 110 key. And then once you do have it, then your next objective will be to come back into customs and then go into the 2-story dorm building and then come down the hallway outside the 110 room. And outside the 110 room is going to be a note. Now this is also the way that you can bypass the car portion entirely, is by locating this note. And so it will be on the right hand side of the 110 room, and so this debt note is going to be similar to other quests in the story mode where you will need to make your PMC read the note in order to get credit for finding it. And by reading it, then you will progress to the next objective. So after reading it, then your quest will update and ask you to find out what Kozlov was involved in, and then to complete this, then you will have to gain access into the 110 room. So opening up this door, once inside, then you will find a note on the bedside table beside the mug. Now after you read this note, then your objective will update, and upon leaving your raid, then you will have to speak with Skier again regarding a woman named Anastasia. And after you're finished talking with him, then he will ask you to go to Streets of Tarkov to access his Accomplices apartment, and this is where we will use the Zmeisky 3 apartment key. So here's a map of streets, and where we will be going is the apartment building in between the population census building and the back of the Brodion pub. So my PMC's here on streets in behind the Check 15 building, and then the playground's going to be right here, and then the population census building will be just to the left of it. Now going through this gate towards the population census building, we want to keep to the left, and then the first door that we do come to on our left will be the apartment that we have to go into. And then our first door upon entering this apartment building will be where we can use the Zmeisky 3 apartment key. Now heading inside this apartment, then there will be a few things for us to grab, and all of them will have multiple potential spawns. So the main document, which is a report, can be immediately on our left upon entering the living room underneath the television in the open drawer, or it can also be in the windowsill, which I will have a picture of what it looks like when the task is active if it did happen to spawn there. And after this, then we will be looking for a briefing from a newspaper article, which does have a spawn in the bottom row of the bookshelf just to the left of the initial report spawn, which will be 2 shelves below the statue. But where it actually did spawn for me in my raid is the opposite side of the room in the bottom row of this bookshelf. Now around this room, there will also be 2 notes that are called the 9th circle that I did find, but these will be optional, and it does seem that they have random spawns on the walls, so just make sure to look around all the different walls for these potential notes. And again, I just want to emphasize the importance of going into your stash and reading all of these items just to get progress towards the objectives and make sure that you're not missing anything. Now after you've located all these items, then you will be asked to survive an extract from a raid on streets. And when you end up surviving from the raid, then you will firstly be asked to go and speak with Skier, who will then prompt you to go and speak with Ragman. Now Ragman will give you your next objective, which is to locate Anastasia's apartment. So here's another map of streets, and the location that we have to go to this time is going to be close by the Check 13 marked room. And so my PMC's here in a raid on streets. The back of the Check 15 apartment building is going to be right here, and turning around, you do want to go down this road and then turn left and go past the vet clinic. Now you do want to go through the gate here and then keep to the right hand side of this little garage building, and then you want to continue on past this SUV, which will lead to the entrance of an apartment which was newly added in 1.0 that you can now go into. So once you do go into this apartment and start going up the stairs to the 2nd floor, then you will get the objective complete once you do go up to the last room on the left hand side, which is going to be apartment number 7. Now at this point, then you can check your objectives, and it will ask you to learn more about Anastasia and also to investigate the entrance of her apartment. So heading back down to the entrance, there is a mailbox on the wall just to the left of the door, and you can go ahead and grab a couple of items here, being the letter from the mailbox and also the newspaper article. And once you go ahead and double click and read both of these notes, then it will complete both these objectives. At this time, then it will update to the next step, which is to locate the Courier Pasha. So once you do extract from your raid on streets, then we will be going back to customs because the objective does say to look around the dorms building. So we will actually be going behind the 2-story dorm building, and it will be at one of the large boulders, which I will show you guys in a raid now. So my PMC is here in a raid in customs, and the 2-story dorm building is going to be right here in front of me. And as we do run in behind it, then you will go past the first large boulder that we come to, and then actually go towards the second one, which is deeper into the trees. Now, as you get closer to this boulder, then you will notice a little bit of blood on the rock, as well as a knocked over bicycle. And then just to the right of the bicycle will be a note. So you will be able to pick up this note. And again, just make sure that you do read it in order to get the objective and progress for the quest. And then you will be able to go and extract from customs, and then you will be asked to talk to Skier again. Now, Skier at this point in time will ask you to locate Reshalas' stash, and he does also give you the optional objective to locate and neutralize Reshala. And as mentioned earlier, you do always have the chance to get the Reshalas bunkhouse key directly from him if you happen to kill him, which is what you will need for this portion of the quest. But you can always just save yourself some time if you are trying to min-max these quests and just buy it directly from the flea market, as long as you do meet the level requirements to purchase keys. Now, once you do have the key, then we will be going to one of the bunkhouses in between the crack house and the repair shop. So my PMC is here in a raid on customs. The crack house is going to be right here. And then to our left along this string of bunkhouses is going to be Reshalas' bunkhouse. And it will be right before these metal stairs. So you can just go ahead and use the key to open up this bunkhouse. And once you do go inside, then there will be a couple of notes that we can pick up. However, some of them are optional objectives. So I just made sure to read all of them until I did find the main objective note, which for me was in the back right hand corner on the wall. So once you end up getting this main note, then you can just go ahead and survive an extract from the raid. And once you are at a raid and your objective does update, then you will be asked to go and locate Kozlov's hideout, which does mention that he is in a village near the health resort. So we will be going to Shoreline. So I do have a map up on the screen. The location for this quest will be at the cabins area of the map. So my PMC is here in a raid at the cabins, and the house where we will be going is across from this green box truck. So going through this gate just to the left of this blue car, then you do want to hug along the fence on your right hand side until you do come to a hole that you can pass through. And then you should be looking for a house with a flower bed attached to it and also the front door ripped off. And as soon as you enter in, then you should see blood all along the back wall. Now, once you go inside, then you will be looking for a body in this last room. And as soon as you start passing through the rooms, then you will get a subtask complete in the bottom right hand corner. And once you come up to this body that is underneath the chair, this is where I ended up running into a bug where I was supposed to have a picture of Anastasia in his right hand. However, I could not find a picture at all. And apparently this picture, when you do flip it around, does have a photo of a flower bed, which is supposed to be a clue to look in the flower bed that is attached to the outside of this house, which is where there is apparently a tape recorder or some evidence that you can listen to. But that is likely why you are here watching this guide, because you couldn't figure it out, because it probably bugged out for you too. But making your way back outside and immediately to the right, then behind the shovel in the flower bed will be a cassette called Evidence, and you will be able to pick this up even if you don't have the note that spawned in for you. So you can still complete this task, there is no worry there. Now, if you did bring in your tape recorder, which you always should whenever you are working on the main story quest, then you can go ahead and play it at this time, and then your last subtask will be completed. However, if you did not bring it with you, then you can just go ahead and survive an extract and then play it when you get back to your stash. And whenever you do play it, then this means that you will get the chapter completion notification. So hopefully you guys found this quest guide useful, and it does help you to complete this chapter. Thank you guys for choosing to watch my guide on this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.